Hi, my name's Mark. I'm one of the pastors here at Trillium. There's a story in the Gospel of Luke about a woman, an old woman in the temple, and she offers her gifts into the temple money box. Two little coins, two little copper coins. And preceding her comes a bunch of rich people who have put in major gifts into the box. And Jesus is watching the situation with the disciples, and he points out to the disciples that the old woman's gift, she's a widow even, is much greater than all the gifts that come from rich people, because they give out of their surplus, but she gives from the core of her financial life. And at the very last line it says, and she put it all in. And I'm thinking to myself, when do people today put all in anything in life today? You know, when do we put ourselves all into any situation? I think we live in the mantra of the world today, which is diversification. We got to be diversified. You know, we need to have all our stuff, whatever it might be, spread out thinly into a lot of different instruments, if you want to put it that way. In fact, the number one rule of financial investment today is diversification. You know, the whole ultimate goal is to minimize risk, mitigate it. That's the world's mantra to us. That poor woman who puts her 2 coins into the temple money box, she's putting all her hopes and dreams into that gift, into the box. And the world would say, well, that's a mistake. You're making a bad decision. Take your meager resources and spread them thinly to give yourself the minimal risk that you can possibly have in life. You know, I think that the approach to modern living is to have contingency plans. You know, you have plan A, your main plan, but you better have plan B waiting in the background just in case plan A doesn't work. And better yet, have plan C and D in place in case plan A and B fail. We see this approach today with the acceleration of technology. I mean, I don't know what I would advise a young person today in choosing a career. I mean, it used to be you'd just work for a company your whole life, and then you might work in a field for your whole life. But today, they're saying that not only are you going to work for a lot of different companies, but you might have a lot of different careers to be working. I mean, I was reading an article on the top 9 jobs that will be displaced by AI, artificial intelligence. And the list was quite interesting. It was blue collar and white collar. It included bus drivers, included accountants, it included paralegals, it included roofers. They're saying that maybe in 10, 15 years, people will not go up on your roof and reshingle your roof. They'll put a machine up there, and the machine will reshingle your whole roof. There won't be any human work involved at all. Accountants are going to be displaced by artificial intelligence. Bus drivers, well, the Google car is going to have consequences not just to cars, but to buses and trucks. Maybe in 2030, we'll be picked up by a bus that is driverless. And that's an intriguing thought. I mean, it spills over to life. People have lost confidence in putting themselves all into anything. I think long-term marriage today, people have great skepticism about. And we see more and more people involved in serial relationships, one relationship moving on to the other. We invest ourselves for 3 years, 5 years in a relationship and wait for the inevitable breakdown that's going to come. And we have contingency plans in place just in case it doesn't work. So the operating philosophy today is to stay nimble and be adaptable to the realities that we're dealing with. But here's the problem I see. The great richness of life that comes to us is always about going all in. Probably the most powerful, loving relationship I've ever experienced in my life was between these 2 people who went all in one for the other. She got sick from diabetes, and her common law partner, who wasn't really that committed in the relationship in the first place, decided that he couldn't abandon her in her time of trial and need. And they went all in with each other. And his life became more and more built around taking care of her. And in the midst of it all, as he went all in with her, and as she became weaker and weaker, they discovered a different kind of love. They fell in love with each other in a different kind of way. And 3 months before she died, they got married. And it was such an amazing thing to see. You know, the gospel today is about a God who goes all in for us. Jesus reveals a God who goes all in for us, even unto death. And the call back to us is for each of us to go all into life. And the promise we're given is that when we do this, heaven becomes earth.